Sometimes you just can't tell whether your luck is good or bad. It was Saturday morning. I backed out of my driveway and headed to Home Depot to pick up some parts to fix the bathroom tub when I realized I had a flat tire. I had only made it 100 feet. I walked back home to get my hydraulic jack. As I walked into the kitchen, I heard Dora talking to someone. "Don't worry, he won't be a problem." The sound of my keys landing on the counter let her know I was back. In hushed words, she answered, "Gotta go." Entering the kitchen, she said, "Hey, hon, that was quick." "I had a flat tire," I replied. "Oh, that sucks. Need help with it?" she asked. "Nope, I got it," I answered. Time to examine what that was all about. As I changed tires, I decided to replay what Dora's been doing and saying to see if I could find warning signs. The first thing I found odd was the night before. When I got home, Dora told me the bathroom tub was almost plugged again. It's been getting worse, but why at 6 in the evening would it even matter? We live in an older house and we use the tub as a shower. That must mean she took a shower before I got home. Well, you don't have to read too many stories to understand what that implies. After changing tires, I went upstairs to wash my hands. I checked the laundry basket and found both a wet bath towel from the night before and a pair of panties, still damp from having been hand-washed. My name is Matt. I've been married to Dora for 4 years. We knew each other in high school but never dated. We reconnected after college and things just seemed to fit. We had a healthy love life before we got married and it hasn't slowed down much. I guess if I'd admit it, the first warning sign was when our friends, Jim and Diane, got divorced. I totally supported Jim for all the mess he put Diane through. Dora couldn't understand how someone so mild-mannered like me could condone such brutal treatment of a cheating wife. I heard that maybe it was just intimacy, and that shouldn't result in such draconic measures. Look at it this way, Dora. Fidelity is just like pregnancy. You are either pregnant or you are not. There is no gray area. Fidelity is 100% or it's 0. Dora's reaction in retrospect now speaks volumes. We recently purchased this old fixer-upper. Unless some major changes are made, this place won't sell to anyone until someone else wants a fixer-upper. I'm handy enough with a tool belt, but finding the time is the biggest challenge. My heart wasn't into fixing the bathroom. I needed to clear my head. I headed outside to work in the yard. I was fuming but unsure what to do to get more information. Dora was tending to her rose bushes. I had started trimming the trees when I heard a scream. Dora was stumbling, trying to stand up and screaming, "Snake!" I smiled. Dora is deathly afraid of snakes. I find snakes amusing, live ropes with eyes and a forked tongue. I strolled over and saw a pencil-thin garter snake about a foot long. Dora screamed, "Kill it! Kill it!" I pretended to look around and lied. "I don't see it. Are you sure?" She shouted frantically, "Yes, damn it, it was huge. Keep looking." Dora was standing in the doorway. I took a foot-long twig and tossed it towards her. "Is this it?" The sound of the door slamming was all I heard. She had locked the doors, and I had to apologize profusely for throwing the snake at her before I was allowed into the house. "I need to lay down. I hate snakes. Not funny, throwing it at me." Once Dora was upstairs, I opened her cell phone and jotted down the phone numbers she'd been calling. I also checked her Google Map history to see where she had requested directions. Yesterday, at 2:30 p.m., it was the Parakeet Lounge. Putting things together was not all that difficult. Too many calls to Jacob Sather, her co-worker, to be a coincidence. Not too many with that last name in our fair city. I'm guessing he's the one about 4 miles away. I decided to take a drive. The Parakeet Lounge is attached to the America Sleeps Motel. 1 down, 1 to go. I parked a few houses away from Jacob's house and watched. A couple of kids were playing in the front yard, and a lovely lady would occasionally pop her head out and interact with them. I assumed the man who came out of the house was Jacob. He drove off. I knocked on the front door. The woman at the door greeted me. "Yes? May I help you?" I nodded and replied, "Yes, ma'am." I'm updating the census information. Are you Mrs. Sather? She confirmed. Yes, I am. I jotted down a note on my pad and asked, Sorry, I don't have a first name for you. You have 2 children, correct? What are their ages? She answered, My name is Julie. My children are 5 and 7. I wrote that down, then continued, And you're still married to Jacob? Julie nodded. Yes. She also confirmed that Jacob was a manager where Dora worked. I smiled politely and closed my notepad. Thanks. That's all I need. Have a great day. Julie, like I was, is probably completely unaware of what her jerk husband and my cheating wife are doing. By this time next week, things are going to be very different. I deflected Dora's attempts to have intimacy with a variety of excuses, and she appeared unfazed by my lack of interest. I was careful to follow my normal routine as best I could. I used a burner phone to get my plan set up. I wanted to be positive that what I suspected was actually occurring. It would be more than embarrassing to scorch the earth on a bad assumption. I took Friday off and followed Dora to work. I killed the morning using my phone to read stories. Around 2:30 p.m., Dora found her car and left the parking lot. I stayed well back, pretty much convinced there was a parakeet in my future. At the Parakeet Lounge, Dora parked and was walking towards the stairs of the motel. I parked such that I had a view of the stairs. Dora was joined by Jacob, and they headed up to the second story. They reappeared, then Jacob opened the suite. I had seen all I needed. I called my friend, Alex, and let him know I was headed his way. Dora was surprised to find me watching TV when she got home. I had no doubt she was freshly loved and would want to take a shower. Dora looked surprised as she walked in. Matt, what are you doing home so early? I shrugged. I had some errands to run, so I took the afternoon off. You must have gotten off early too? She hesitated for a second before responding. I spilled a drink on myself, so I decided to come home and shower. Then she quickly added, I'll be back down in a bit. Let's go out for steak. Impressive quick thinking on her feet. I could hardly contain myself. I had taken the regular door handle off of the bathroom door and replaced it with one that could only be opened from the bedroom side. The door opened into the bathroom, and we always closed it by shoving the door closed. Now, once in the bathroom, Dora would be stuck. We had no bathroom window, just a fan. The door, like the rest of the doors in the house, was a very heavy wooden slab. I tiptoed up the stairs and heard the bathroom door close. I pulled on it to make sure she was locked in. The hysterical screaming started a few seconds later. The pounding on the door wasn't as loud as the panic screams. I turned on the radio near the bed and ramped up the volume to drown out the screams. You see, I had borrowed 2 very large yellow anaconda snakes from my herpetologist friend Alex. Each was about 8 feet long and about the circumference of my arm. They were too big to slide under a door. I had placed them in the tub and pulled the curtain closed. They aren't venomous, but when they get really hungry, they will attack. Alex feeds them well, so they are a few weeks away from being dangerous. Dora screamed frantically, Matt, let me out! Let me out! Please, Matt, let me out! I remained calm and taunted her. Maybe Jacob can help you. What's his number? Her voice cracked with desperation. Oh God, I'm sorry, Matt. It was only intimacy. I love you. Please let me out. Her pleas were soon drowned out by another round of terrified screams. I heard a loud crash. Maybe the snakes were getting a little too close for comfort. Moments later, she shrieked again, Matt, damn it, open the door! Feeling concerned, I replied smoothly, Honey, they're just snakes. Be careful, though. They're drawn to human fluids. I paused for effect before adding some well-crafted lies. You know, things like sweat, urine, and especially certain other fluids. A string of panicked curses exploded from behind the door. Oh no! Get them away from me! More crashing sounds followed. I could hear objects crashing against the walls. She must be throwing things at the snakes. Feigning concern, I continued my deception. Honey, try not to fall asleep. That's when they eat and breed. Dora's sobbing grew louder. Matt, open the door. I'm sorry. Please, open the door. I kept my voice steady, adding one last touch to her nightmare. Calm down, dear. You might want to turn off the lights. I added some freshly made-up facts. They get aggressive with bright lights. I'll check back on you in a few hours. Over the next few hours, amongst the hysterical sobbing, were the sounds of things crashing. There was a loud thud. She must have fallen off the toilet or sink as her voice changed radically. Dora's screams turned hysterical. Matt, help me! Get them off me! Please! Help! I smirked and added another layer to her terror. Dora, try not to scare them. They tend to seek out dark, warm places to hide. It was too disturbing to sleep in the bedroom, what with all the noise. I actually got a good night's sleep on the sofa. In the morning, after I fixed a cup of coffee, I climbed the stairs to see what the prognosis was for the day. I knocked lightly on the door and called out, How's it going in there, honey? Not much but some grunts and whimpering. Lack of sleep, I guess. I'll check back at lunch. I spent the morning catching up on my emails and browsing for new cars. Dora's friend dropped by to pick her up. I gave a polite but apologetic smile. Oh, didn't she call you? I'm sorry about that. She barely got any sleep last night and isn't feeling well at all. She's been acting a bit strange. I'll let her know you stopped by. Every once in a while I heard a crash and a scream. She's got to be getting hungry too. I called out casually, Are you finished with your shower yet? I'm heading out for a nice juicy steak. Want me to bring you anything? A weak, trembling voice responded, Please open the door. I'm sorry. I can't be any more sorry. What do you want? Just, please open the door. I smirked and added another layer of fear. Watch them carefully. If they start intertwining, that means they're getting excited. You really don't want to be around when that happens. Dora's panic erupted into full-blown hysteria. Open the door, damn it! More frantic sobbing and crashing sounds followed. The lawn needs mowing. I had a bounce in my step while doing it. I watched TV all afternoon. After the golf coverage finished, I checked on our love fest. I banged on the door and called out mockingly, How are you and your lovers doing, dear? Dora's response was immediate and frantic. They're on me! Get off, help! I smirked. She must have dozed off, and now her new friends were getting a little too close for comfort. Feigning concern, I added, I'll give you and your lover some privacy. I'll check back in the morning. Sweet dreams. Her voice turned furious. Matt! Open the damn door! Now! I chuckled to myself. She was getting bossy, but I think I'll leave her in timeout a little longer. The crying and screaming continued at random times throughout the night. I slept on the sofa again. With my morning coffee in hand, I climbed the stairs again. Not a peep. Maybe she was able to get some rest after all. I cracked the door open. Dora was passed out, wedged between the wall and the toilet. She had completely trashed the bathroom. I put the 2 snakes into the canvas bags Alex had provided. It took just a few minutes to put the regular door handle back on. I used my phone to create a video of Dora sleeping beside the toilet and the damage she had done. I called 911 and reported my wife had gone crazy. I placed the canvas bags in my trunk. When the squad car arrived, I told them how Dora had locked herself in the bathroom and trashed it. I don't know if she was abusing drugs, but she was ranting and raving about snakes. She was acting crazy and completely delusional. She definitely needed some psychiatric care, and I was willing to sign whatever paperwork necessary to get her the help she needed. When they tried moving Dora, she kicked, screamed, "Snakes! Get off me!" and swung wildly at the cops. It took both officers to subdue her. They informed me they were taking her to the hospital for observation. Before they left, they took photos of the bathroom, checked the bathroom door lock, and looked for snakes. I stopped by Alex's place on my way to the hospital. Both of the snakes were none the worse for wear. I promised to buy Alex a big steak dinner. I think I deserve at least a supporting actor Oscar for my performance at the hospital. I couldn't have generated more sympathy from the nurses and doctors. They assured me that, although unusual, they see this a few times a year. I peeked in and saw they had Dora restrained in a straitjacket. The sedatives would keep her calm for now. The doctors convinced me to agree to leave her, for observation, for at least a week. This would not look good on her resume. The report, after a week, was not good for Dora. Anytime anyone or anything near her moved, she would lash out and scream. She continued to rant about how I had locked her in the bathroom with snakes to punish her for her affair. I widened my eyes and staggered back, feigning shock. Her affair? She's having an affair? I put on my best blind-sided husband act. The doctor gave a sympathetic nod. Someone she works with, named Jacob. I exhaled sharply and sank into the nearest chair. I need to sit. I don't feel very good right now. After a pause, I added, Do you think her guilt caused her to snap? The doctor sighed. The brain is a very complex thing. It's tough to say what triggered this. One of the nurses handed me a cup of water. I took a slow sip, composing myself. I looked up and asked, So, there were no snakes. What happens to her now? The doctor flipped through some paperwork. We've filed the necessary documents to keep her under observation for another 2 weeks. I contacted my attorney and had him start the divorce process. He also contacted Dora and Jacob's employer and is working on a settlement. Jacob is management, Dora isn't, and they aren't supposed to mingle bodily fluids. As long as Dora is being treated for her breakdown, she can't be served. Not a problem. It will be there waiting for her when she gets released. She's going to need to find another job. I hear Julie is also going after Jacob's ex-employer. Jacob checked into the same hospital for a short stay. He was bitten by a venomous snake he found in his car. They had to amputate a few fingers. I bought this poster and put it in my office. A snake may shed its skin, but it's still a snake. Remember that before you allow some people back into your life. I hope I lived up to Dora's expectations, about not being a problem. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.